bilateral exchange between foreigners and citizens.
Great employment for the people of Akwa Ibom State, especially the youth, giving Akwa Ibom a great sense of pride, hope, and distinct identity, and greatly unite the people of Akwa Ibom State. Upgrade the tourism status of the state globally, and generally ensure that all tourist centers in the state are properly managed and maintained.
The Speaker, Anir Kambasi, directed the clerk to communicate same to the state governor after thorough considerations and recommendations were made to the bill, and added that the commencement date for the bill is August 5, 2021. Also at plenary today, a valedictory session was held in honor of the late Ismail Upong, who represented Itinan Urban in the then Cross River State Assembly between 1979 and 1983. Paying tribute to their departed colleague, past and present members, while extolling the exemplary character of the deceased lawmaker, stated that late Ismail Akwanupong was a man of excellent character who made sound contributions to the growth and development of the state. The Speaker, Anir Kambasi, in his remarks urged lawmakers to emulate the ingenuity of their deceased fellow as a minute's silence was held in honor of the deceased.
Our colleagues invested time, energy, and resources toward the development of the community before, during, and after its legislative struggle. Our late comrades' intellectual progress made outstanding in the midst of the contemporaries. He worked assiduously to ensure the employment of equity, justice, and fairness in the community in particular and the state in general. While we mourn the demise of this great icon, let us be inspired by the exemplary life, venerable, Obong Ignorant, apart from me.
Moving on from the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, as Akwa Ibom records 121 new cases of COVID-19 following the third wave of the virus, Akwa Ibom citizens have been urged to get tested and take responsibility by observing all the safety precautions as the Delta variant is more deadly. Speaking on XLFM's breakfast flagship show, The Talk, the Commissioner for Health, Akwa Ibom State, who was represented by the state epidemiologist Dr. Ntaise Umoite, said Akwa Ibom is recording a high number of cases due to the new Delta variant, which spreads faster, adding that the state is testing its citizens in order to follow the trend at the moment.
If you look at the trend, the whole of this July, the whole of July, because it started in July. From second, you see, we were testing, we had 1, we had 2, we had 1, we had 3, we had 4, and then it now shoots to 11 to 17. So if we were not testing, we wouldn't have followed this trend. We'll just wake up and see that and saw that we are overwhelmed. But because we were doing what we were supposed to do in terms of testing, that's why we were able to follow the trend and know that we are in a serious problem.
We're still on The Talk this morning. A legal practitioner and a politician, Imo Akpan, and a politician come public affairs analyst, Ubonge Kefre, who spoke on the internal wranglings in Nigeria's major political parties at the moment, said that the infighting can be resolved if political leaders, members and leaders of each political party view leadership as a role of serving the people rather than gaining office for selfish interests.
The ideal thing is that the general interest should supersede the individual interests, the personal interests. Right. That should be the larger picture. But when you see one man who wants to swallow up every other interest and desires that issues must be looked at from his own personal and parochial prism, then it becomes a problem.
How healthy is it for the country that two major political parties at a time like this will first with very, very indecent internal wrangling? What has really gone wrong that the leadership of the party is put to question?
In furtherance to the fight against trafficking in persons in Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria, through funding from the United Kingdom Home Office UKHO and the International Organization for Migration, have donated relief materials and shelter to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Akwa Ibom State, for victims of human trafficking in the state. In his opening address, the Director General of NAPTIP, who was represented by the Director Legal and Prosecution, NAPTIP, Hassan Amisu Tari, said an enabling environment is needed for a proper fight against human trafficking.
The importance of a conducive environment to the effective rehabilitation of victims of human trafficking cannot be overemphasized. This administration is also particularly appreciative of your spectacular role in facilitating the repatriation and evacuation of stranded Nigerians from various host and destination countries in several batches over the years. As you receive this shelter plus the donated items, I stand to reassure you of our commitment to retaining your confidence and sustaining this partnership.
Speaking with our correspondent, Jonathan Essien, the International Organization for Migration's Programs Officer, Ruth Mbuga, said the materials donated to the victims range from toiletries, bedspread, electric cookers, mosquito nets, and others.
The work that we are here to do is to support NAPTIP in their mandates in addressing issues of trafficking, particularly from the angle of protecting the victims of trafficking. So ensuring they get the immediate support that they need, whether it's the short-term shelter, whether it's the immediate support, immediate counseling. So we've been working with NAPTIP in also assisting victims of trafficking who return from other countries. So when it comes even to the arrival assistance, when they immediately arrive from another country, we collaborate very closely with NAPTIP to provide that support, but then also even after their return in terms of their return and reintegration.
Meanwhile, the Uyo Zonal Commander of the agency, Ubong David Ekwere, thanked the federal government for the support and called for other stakeholders to assist in the fight against human trafficking in the state. As the world marks the 2021 Breastfeeding Week, medical practitioners have continued to stress the importance of breastfeeding, as it's described as one of the most effective ways to ensure child health and survival, as well as boost the immune system of the infant. Speaking with XL News 360 on this year's theme, Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility, a safe motherhood focal person for your local government area, Aniatia Udema Obo, said infant breastfeeding helps lower the risk of developing infections such as respiratory tract infections, diabetes, and childhood leukemia, and also added that it does not only help the baby, but helps the mother recuperate.
From the first day that child is being put to bed, you start breastfeeding that child. Once you start breastfeeding that child, it will fight against infection. It will help to restore the mother's uterus, returning the uterus to its previous position, that is the non-gravid uterus. So some women, breastfeeding acts as a family planning. There are some women that do breastfeed their child exclusively for 6 months. They will menstruate, they won't take in.
According to her, breast milk is extremely nutritious, as babies who have been exclusively breastfed without water usually develop a healthy weight and stay away from hospitals, as they don't get sick easily.
Even the manufacturers of infant formula, if you look at those containers, they will, at the end of it all, they still specify that breastfeeding is the best. Take a good look of a child that is being breastfed exclusively for 6 months. You won't come to the hospital for treatment. But if you give the child, if you breastfeed the child and you add water, or you give infant formula, if you add water to the breastfeeding, it is not called exclusive breastfeeding. That child is being exposed to so many things like pneumonia, neonatal infection. But if you do exclusive breastfeeding, the child will not be exposed to infection. This one will save your money. The only thing it requires from you is to use that money to buy food, and then it's so that your breast will be able to produce enough breast milk to that child.
Well, the World Breastfeeding Week is an annual celebration held every year from August 1 to 7th in over 120 countries, including Nigeria, to encourage breastfeeding and improve the health of babies and mothers around the world. Well, you're listening to XL News 360 on XL 106.9 FM, Uyo. We'll take a break for a commercial. We'll be right back with more stories in a bit. To stay with us.
My country people, una sabi say Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC) don make am compulsory make we link every phone number to the National Identification Number (NIN). That's why your better network 9 Mobile don make the exercise easy for you. Dial *996# to check and link your NIN. You fit go www.9mobile.com.ng/NIN to do am. All the 9 Mobile benefits dem wey you don dey enjoy still tanda for you. 9 Mobile.
Well, thank you so much for staying. Now let's go to the world of business, where the Bureau of Public Enterprise, BPE, Nigeria's privatization agency, says it intends to sell 36 state-owned assets this year. This is according to the Economist Intelligence Unit's report for July 2021. The BPE intends to raise 493.4 billion naira from selling these state-owned assets, which include power generation plants and free trade zones. According to the report, the reason for the asset sale is to generate revenue for the government while also reducing operational inefficiencies and increasing competence through private investment. Outside Nigeria, a Sudanese court today sentenced 6 members of a feared paramilitary force to death for killing 6 protesters during a 2019 demonstration over food and fuel shortages. The protesters, including 4 school children, were shot dead in July 2019 in the city of Al Ubaid in North Kordofan, sparking outrage across Sudan. Days later, 9 members of the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary unit were arrested, and at their trial today, Judge Mohammed Rama sentenced 6 of them to death, acquitted 2 others, and referred 1 to a juvenile court as he was under 18. In Sudan, death sentences are usually carried out by hanging, but the 6th may appeal the ruling. Elsewhere, Iran's new president, Ebrahim Raisi, has been sworn into office following his election victory in June. Raisi, a hardline cleric, succeeds Hassan Rouhani, seen in the West as a relative moderate. Now let's talk entertainment. American music mogul Dr. Dre's eldest daughter, LaToya Young, has revealed that she's homeless and living out of her car. The single mother of 4 who disclosed this to the press said she has not received money from the Beats founder in a year and a half, and that he stopped giving her money after she spoke to the press about their relationship. LaToya is Dre's daughter with Lisa Johnson, from whom he split when LaToya was 5 years old. She claims she's not seen the music producer born Andrew Young in 18 years and can only communicate with him via his team. Now turning to sports, former Germany and Chelsea star Michael Ballack has lost his son Emilio Ballack, who was crushed by a quad bike near the family's holiday home in Portugal. The 18-year-old was involved in the accident in the early hours of today, where firefighters tried to rescue him near the Villas do Mar estate. According to reports, the tragedy happened in Troia, a peninsula off the coast of Setúbal, just south of Lisbon, close to Ballack's house. Ballack is widely regarded as one of the best German players of all time and is a Premier League and FA Cup winner with Chelsea. Now, those are the stories we followed for you at this time. For your newsworthy events and other happenings from your area, you can call our newsroom on 0907 328 6240 or 0802 860 0811. Please avoid touching surfaces, especially in public places and hospitals, in case people infected with COVID-19 have touched them. Also, endeavor to wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. On behalf of the news producer, Otobong Billy, I'm Ugochukwu Bamidele. Good evening.
That's the news on Excel 106.9 FM.
Doredo, better itself. Now 10 gigabyte data just land my Airtel so. Guess how much? 3,000 naira. 3K better for 10 gigabyte data. You shock, Abi? Make I add extra shock. 5,000 naira go give you 20 gigabyte data. Now so me for shoko.
That's right. With Airtel data, just a little more gets you so much more. Introducing Airtel More for More data plans, like 10 gigabytes for just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabytes for 5,000 naira.
Dial *141# today to experience the network with the widest 4G coverage.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
My name is Ediong Senyen Ndunobong, aka MC Smasher. I am a master of ceremonies and a red carpet host. But what people do not know is that I am a fish farmer. I run a fish farm with about 2,000 fishes. I smoke, grill, package, and distribute them across the country. This is my hustle. Get up and do something now.